There is a familiar moment many men can name without saying it out loud. You sit in the exam room, the paper beneath you crinkling like a whisper, and the lab results load on a screen. 3 small letters appear, and the world narrows to a number beside them. PSA. Your chest tightens, thoughts race ahead of truth, and a quiet fear begins to write a story that has not been written yet. Before that story takes over, take a breath. PSA is not the enemy, it is a message. It is your body's way of asking for attention, not demanding panic. PSA stands for prostate-specific antigen, a protein your prostate makes as naturally as your lungs draw air. Every man has some of it circulating in his blood. The level rises and falls for many reasons that have nothing to do with catastrophe. Think of it like a check engine light in a well-loved car. The light comes on when something needs a look, not when the engine is ruined. Your prostate is sensitive and responsive, and when it is nudged by everyday life, PSA can drift upward to say, "Notice me," not "Fear me." What nudges it is often surprisingly ordinary. Long stretches of sitting compress the pelvic area and irritate delicate tissues. A day or two of poor hydration thickens the blood and makes the gland work under friction it does not want. A strenuous bike ride before a test presses directly where the prostate lives and can push the number higher for a short while. Intimacy too close to blood work changes the local chemistry and leaves a temporary fingerprint on the result. Even the stress of a restless week or a heavy dinner of fried foods and extra drinks can tip a sensitive system into mild inflammation that shows up as a higher reading. None of this means the body is breaking, it means it is talking. The prostate reacts to pressure, to dryness, to heat, to tension, to timing. It calms with water sipped through the day instead of chugged at night. It settles when you stand and stretch each hour and let circulation wash the area clean. It prefers steady meals built from whole foods that cool inflammation rather than provoke it. It prefers sleep that resets hormones that govern blood flow, swelling, and sensation. It prefers gentleness before testing, a window of quiet where nothing bothers it and the baseline can reveal itself. The invisible diagnosis hiding beneath many anxious results is not disease, but irritation. It is the accumulation of small frictions from a modern routine that forgot how to be kind to the body. When you understand that, the number loses its power to scare you. One test does not define your health. Patterns do. A single spike is a snapshot taken in motion. What matters is what repeats when you create calm and measure again. So before late-night searches and heavy conclusions, give your body a chance to be heard clearly. Book the morning draw, drink water the day before, skip the bike, the heavy workout, and the bedroom for 48 hours. Sit less and breathe more. Let the prostate live a quiet day, and then let the number speak. When you treat PSA as a signal and not a sentence, you walk back into your life steadier, clearer, and ready to make choices that actually help. There's something quietly empowering about realizing that the same body that once frightened you with a number is also capable of healing itself through gentleness and rhythm. The prostate doesn't demand complex medical interventions in most cases, it asks for balance. When you hydrate, when you move, when you eat what nature intended, it listens. And when you overwork, dehydrate, or compress it day after day, it simply raises its voice through that little reading we call PSA. One of the most overlooked remedies is movement, not intense workouts that strain, but steady motion that restores blood flow. A simple daily walk does more for the prostate than most men imagine. It brings oxygen to the tissues, reduces inflammation, and helps the body clear excess hormones that can irritate the gland. Pair that with fiber-rich foods, beans, vegetables, oats, berries, and you create an internal environment that flushes toxins and stabilizes hormones naturally. Add omega-3s from fish or flax, a sprinkle of turmeric, or a cup of green tea, and you give your prostate what it loves most: calm circulation and clean fuel. There was a man, 71, who once believed his rising PSA meant the end of peace. Every new test stole sleep from him. His diet was simple but heavy: fried lunches, long hours at the computer, little movement. His doctor suggested waiting, not worrying, and trying small changes first. So he did. He began walking with his neighbor every morning before breakfast. He replaced his nightly drink with water and added salmon twice a week. It wasn't a miracle or a sudden drop. It was a quiet rebalancing. Within months, his PSA returned to its old level. But more important than the number, he felt alive again. His steps were lighter, his breath easier, and the cloud of anxiety he'd lived under began to clear. Stories like his remind us that the prostate is not fragile, it's responsive. It reacts to the way you treat it. It swells when neglected, softens when cared for. What many call aging is often just accumulation. Too much sitting, too much stress, too little water, too little movement. These are not punishments, they are patterns, and patterns can change. The natural remedy isn't hidden in a pill or supplement, though those may support the process. It lives in the consistency of your daily rhythm: hydration, motion, rest, and nourishment. Healing happens not through urgency, but through attention. When you listen to your body's quieter signals before they grow loud, you begin to live in partnership with it again. That's when numbers start to follow your choices, not the other way around. When you begin to see your PSA not as a verdict, but as a voice, something shifts. The fear that once wrapped around your chest loosens its grip, and you start to understand that your body has been speaking a language you simply hadn't learned to hear. It's not a language of punishment, it's communication. Every number, every ache, every restless night is a message, a call to balance. The prostate, like the heart or the lungs, does not seek perfection. It seeks a rhythm. It thrives when you respect the natural pace of life, when you drink water before thirst arrives, when you rest before exhaustion sets in, when you move not to chase youth, but to celebrate it still being there. Many men spend years battling numbers on paper instead of listening to the quiet wisdom beneath them. But numbers without context are noise. What matters is the pattern, the trend, the story those readings tell over time. A single test can't define your health any more than a single cloud defines a season. When you build consistency, eating whole foods, sleeping well, calming your mind, and staying gently active, the body responds. Inflammation calms, circulation improves, and that small gland that once frightened you begins to work quietly again, doing exactly what it was designed to do. There is freedom in understanding that healing is not about control, it's about cooperation. Your body doesn't want to fight with you, it wants to function with you. Every sip of water, every deep breath, every small act of care is like telling your prostate, "You're safe now," and safety is the soil where healing grows. So if this message spoke to you, if you felt the anxiety of waiting for results, the unease of not knowing, or the quiet fear of getting older, thank you for staying until the end. You are not alone in this. Thousands of men are walking the same path, learning to listen, to slow down, to trust their bodies again. If you found value here, I'd be honored if you'd subscribe to the channel, leave a like to let me know this story resonated, and share it with someone you care about. Maybe a brother, a friend from church, or someone in your walking group who quietly worries about his numbers too. In the comments, tell us, have you faced this before? What habits brought you peace? What still feels confusing? Your story matters here. Because in the end, your PSA is not a threat, it's a conversation. And when you learn to listen, you stop surviving and start truly living again.